So I think I met Josh in 1993, and he was like the quiet new kid, and we went to Music Mart, which is just one of our only music stores, and so I picked up an axe, if you will, and shredded a Metallica song. Well, not really shredded, just like the easiest Metallica song, and sort of like put it back on the shelf and looked at Josh like, "What do you got, kid?" Because I was like, "You play?" He's like, "Yeah, I play." And then it was like Slayer ripped my face off, and from that point on, I've just been behind him, like waiting for him to write something awesome, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in his band." We've been playing in bands ever since, sort of.
Yeah.
So Josh and I played in a band called Ethel Reserve, which he actually started, and that was awesome because we got to tour. It was like the beginning of like the indie scene when like Fugazi was really big and Shellac and all those bands, and we got to play with a lot of cool big bands.
Yeah, I'd go down to Washington D.C. and all the Discord bands totally, I think, formed what we thought good music was, you know, and everyone just trying to watch MTV or, you know, radio stuff. And we were lucky enough to get exposed to different music.
We were just like kids, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It came up like I started skating for Etnies, I think in 1998, and Mike gave us the opportunity to do commercial, which there was tons of stuff I couldn't do, and there was stuff like I would record a guitar part and I would email it to him, and then he would record a bass part or drums, and we just go back and forth. And I would just let Josh do it, and I took credit for it for 2 years. I got credit for all of it. From there, you just decided to move out. Girlfriend, you started making out with a dude in a truck or something.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It's always been cool because people like that I looked up to, especially, and you know, I met Josh skating so many years ago. So you know, like Tom Petty and Chris Sen, and like when you see those guys skate to your music, even though they might not even know who we are, still it's still like we're like connected, kind of. Up until this point, we'd only done a few BMX commercials. This was the first time we'd ever done a project of this size where we knew there was going to be a broad spectrum of music that was needed. For example, sometimes a writer will just pick one song that they want to use, and then you can't get the rights for it, so we will just take that as an influence and try and recreate the feel that they were going for. Other times, Mike will come to us with, you know, 1, 2, or 3 different kinds of music and say, like, I like this intro, and then I want the middle, and then I like this end, and we'll just make what we think suits it, you know, and then I'll take it back to Mike, he'll make me change it, or I'll have Josh change it.
What usually happens is the track develops a lot through the process, and by the end result, it's not really anything like the one I originally planned, but because it's tailor-made to the video part, it suits it so much better.
And it really influences how we play music as well, because it gives us just a cool, maybe direction that we had never thought of.
Hear that? That's Sayvinyl.
Oh, come on now.
Coincidentally, as we started writing for the Grounded project, we were lucky enough to meet Dan Reed, Phil Tornroth, and Ryan Flack, and start a new band called Sayvinyl.
It's pretty crazy that naming the band was that's by far the hardest thing we've done.
I think if it weren't for the deadline, we just would never have a name.
And we'd still be called Bear Claw.
We'd be RoboCop 3. Yeah.
Or RoboCop 3, the movie.
It was cool because we went into the project not knowing what everyone listened to or what we were going to try and create, and then at the same time we were getting directions from Mike. They both sort of molded each other. You know, we came out with all these songs for the video and then all these songs for the band, and I think they definitely helped form one another.
Everyone is just unanimously willing to throw aside anything that's preconceived and really, you know, just try and do something original and not care so much about niches or genres or whatever.
After a couple months of playing in the band, we started to see, you know, what people's strengths were. So when different songs came into the Grounded project, we would, you know, allocate them to who was more suited. You know, like Morgan Wade's part was more programmed in sequences, so, you know, that was perfect for Dan. When we did Aaron Ross's part or the intro, Josh and I could do a rock song like that fairly easily. And there were parts where my dad played piano for intros, and we even had our old drummer Ted come in and he did the interlude part, and, you know, so it's awesome. At the end of the day, we have like this great group of people that can make all sorts of different music that we never would make unless someone told us to. And as we were recording these songs, we were recording our first 4-song demo with Sayvinyl as a band. And fortunately we got those songs done on time, that we got some in the Grounded video, which is amazing for us, you know, considering it's our first thing we've ever really done. And I mean, I feel kind of weird doing this interview all alone right now, because I feel for the first time since I met Josh, you know, however many years ago, that we have like such a good group of musicians, you know, and like these guys are so fun to play with, and it's completely different than anything else I've ever done. And you know, I just hope you guys like it as much as we like playing it.